your horror movie podcast.
What is up, Hackstab Slash? Welcome back. Today starts off season 2. Please hit that subscribe button if you listen to any of us. That would help us so much, help us grow. So let's go, let's grow. And we're starting off with our first theme month. We are kicking off with Werewolf month. We're gonna have a whole new list of movies this season. Gonna do some stuff different. Hopefully do some stuff better. But today we're starting with Werewolves Within. Waterboy picked that movie. Waterboy, kicking it over to you. Why did you pick this movie? Let's go.
So, I've seen a number of werewolf movies, and I just was randomly looking through all of them when we were trying to do our pick, and I saw a picture of this one that I had not seen. It was a recent one, but the reason why I saw a postal worker in this, and I was like, all right, I got to do this. If it's got a postal worker, I got to do this. And so doing it, Werewolves Within, it's a horror comedy about a park ranger being transferred to the town of Beaverton, where things are a little out of the ordinary. Just a little bit.
A little bit. Well, a little weird.
A little weird.
All right, fellas. Welcome back to 2021, where we are going to see Werewolves Within. A proposed gas pipeline has creative divisions within a small town of Beaverfield. When a snowstorm traps its residents together inside the local inn, newly arrived Forest Ranger, a forest within a ranger. His name is Finn, and a postal worker who has no stationary events named Cecily.
Dude, I
try to keep the peace. Yeah.
I literally, right there. How does she not get any stationary events?
She's stationary like 85% of the time. But they must try to keep the peace and uncover the truth behind a mysterious creature that has begun terrorizing the community. And guys, you know something? That's just not nice, all right? It's freaking okay to be nice. Did you know that?
I know that.
It is okay to be nice.
Yeah, we get opening credits, and we see a phrase. Listening is where love begins. Listening to ourselves and then our neighbors. A quote by Mr. Rogers. Guys, this music behind it was so dreadful that I was like, how do you pair it up with a Mr. Rogers quote?
It was an odd pairing.
I was not expecting that.
All right. We open now to a man giggling at his phone as he guiltily looks down playing with his wedding ring. We hear something making noises within the tree line, and then he gets attacked, and as he's pulled away screaming, we cut to Finn, who's screaming along with the tape and chanting balls, balls, balls to get him amped up. Headed to the local inn now, Mr. Wheeler interrupts a conversation between Mr. Parker as he's trying to sell the pipeline to Mrs. Sherman. Not like physically sell the pipeline, but like get her to buy in so he can build it. Janine struggles bringing up Finn's luggage as Cecily, the male person, not male man, she is a male person, tells Janine that she's needed in the cafe, and Cecily offers to show Finn around town. She shares some hot Beaverfield gossip, guys. Do you want some hot Beaverfield gossip? Cecily tells him that Mrs. Sherman's husband met a woman at a bar, and they ran off to Belize. Guys, I heard Belize sucks this time of year. They make their way around town now as Cecily shows Finn the locals. Devin and Joaquin, who run the local yoga studio, they're like an ex-city nature-loving millionaire power couple. Gwen, the local pissed-off mechanic, and high-as-fuck Marcus. She's had way too much soda, guys, and she even uses the wrench as a duck. Quack, quack.
Phallic duck.
And then we meet Stephen King's very own Trish. She gives Finn a soap bottle angel, and she also laughs like a seagull. Did you guys notice that?
Her laugh was very interesting.
I could not stand it. And then what was it? Her husband or her boyfriend, whatever he was. I'm gonna call him creepy ass Pete, who tries to tickle Cecily and salutes with the wrong hand, never the left hand. Man,
don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that. Yeah, my kind of man. On their way to the outskirts of town, they see Sam Parker's pipeline totem, and it looks like a big duck and balls that shoots fire. Cecily asks Finn to bring up a package to Mr. Flint as they approach on his property. Flint scares the ever-living shit out of Finn, who comes running down the driveway screaming, "He's heavily armed, and he's not the neighborly type!" Finn and Cecily now go into town for lunch. She tells Finn she's got full access to Kitchen Kingdom because she brings their packages in during the winter. That song, guys, I Saw the Sign, starts playing, and let me tell you, this is where I fell head over heels in love with Cecily. Any woman who can dance like that, let me tell you, my kind of girl. She starts playing on the jukebox. Finn and Cecily now have some small talk about why Finn got transferred, and actually about his ex-girlfriend, who he's not broken up with, but through conversation they realize that he is actually broken up with.
Is broken up.
For 3 reasons, right?
Yeah, exactly. Cecily then throws a curveball and just asks him if he wants to do something violent, so they begin throwing axes. After some awkward bonding and some sweet 90s romantic music playing in the background, Finn has the worst timing in the world because his phone rings right before he's about to share a kiss with Cecily. It's the worst timing ever. And who would be on the other end of that phone line than Finn's ex? I believe her name is Charlotte. She's actually just calling him because she's pissed that she needs him and his physical AAA card. Trish is now letting her dog out to go to the bathroom, and something just snatches that little fucker right off the leash. I believe his name was Chachi. She's now screaming at the top of her lungs about a monster. She's doing this in the middle of the inn. How you get from her house to the inn overnight about a dead dog blows my mind. She teleports, guys. She doesn't need to walk anywhere. She teleports. Finn now walks into this mess and is just absolutely confused, and we meet Dr. Ellis, who sneaks up behind him to introduce herself. Cecily shows up and also informs them that the power is out everywhere. Marcus and Gwen also show up, and they let them know the only road in and out of town is now blocked by snow. Finn heads into town and finds something has just absolutely torn into these generators. And every time he sees it, guys, all he says is, "Heavens to Betsy.
Heavens to Betsy.
Heavens to Betsy.
Heavens to Betsy."
On his way back, Finn discovers a dead body under the porch at the inn. He tells the group they're snowed in, the generators are gone, and hey, guys, there's a dead body outside. They lose their minds. Mrs. Sherman is losing her ever-loving mind as she finds out this dead body is actually her husband, the man from the opening scenes. Dr. Ellis gets smart, though. She goes down and she takes some samples from the body. She pulls up what looks to be a hair strain. She says she's going to go test it. She disappears. Dr. Ellis gives me very weird vibes through this whole movie. Do you guys feel that way about her?
I was calling her to be the word.
I was so confused. Like half the time. Yeah, I was like, is this person the word? I was so confused. Like, just very odd.
All right. Cecily and Finn head up to Flint's place to try and come up with a plan to catch the wild animal that's been causing mayhem. Their walk to Flint's is also filled with more awkwardness and just faint apologies about what had gone on and how he answered the phone for his ex-girlfriend. It was just so weird, and Cecily just calls him out the whole time, and it's I couldn't even take notes on it. It's just absolutely awkward. But the group is now bickering back at the inn. Dr. Ellis promises to figure out what killed Janine's husband. And now we get Cecily and Finn arriving at Flint's cabin. Flint opens the door, covered head to toe in blood, and cleaning a knife, and asking if there's something he wants to share with them and tell him what happened to his generator. Did you guys know that Cecily is also in a punk band? Like in a real punk band called the Megalodons, because the lead singer's name was Meg.
Oh my gosh,
dude! I was like already so excited. I'm like, oh my god, there's a postal worker here, and now there's like punk references. You know, I like that. In a werewolf movie, I like my head was gonna explode.
Jesus, dude.
What'd you guys think about these opening scenes?
Go ahead, Water Boy.
I was gonna say it's not a slow burner. I mean, we get caught out like right at the beginning with the first scene. I will say there's a lot of like random fluff and stuff like that. Um, it moves slow right after that scene, but the comedy keeps you in there. So it's
Yeah.
it's it's more so like you're banking on that comedy for so far for this beginning.
Yeah, and I love that, like the town people are so ridiculous. Like I couldn't even take notes on half the stuff too, because there was just so many stupid one-liners that were hilarious. Like when the storm was coming in, and they're like, "We're storm fucked." Oh yeah, storm fucked. I'm like, that's like the coolest saying ever.
Storm
Like
fucked.
next time the storm's coming, I'm gonna say, "Oh shit, we're storm fucked." And when they're like, "Oh my god, like a monster got it," or it could be a coyote or a possum. Ooh, a possum, those are scary. Like there's just so many like silly one-liners. Like the town people are so over the top, so
Oh,
ridiculous. And I never mind. I love Werewolves. I love that there was a postal person in it. I love that she was in a punk band. Just yeah, a lot going on.
your dog only
I,
barked at Jews and brown people.
Yeah, like
yeah.
so many one lot. Like there's so much crazy dialogue going on in this.
Oh my
Dude,
gosh.
I just love the way they build the characters through comedy. So
Yep.
like when you get this slow burn in the beginning, like you get comedy that's character building. Like Finn, homie is listening to a tape that's supposed to make him like a what a more manly man, but
Yeah,
it's narrated by a woman who's like breathe in and just scream balls, balls, balls. And then to boot, dude, he's driving a PT Cruiser,
Oh
which
god.
is one of the most like no offense to anyone, because I do have a friend that loves PT Cruises, but it feels like one of the more emasculating cars, like that a man shouldn't drive. Like you see newer buggies, you wouldn't picture a man in a buggy.
No.
And then like
or
just the
or
whole like
minivan.
sex with Gwen stroking the wrench and Marcus getting out high
oh
as
my
a kite,
god,
running around being like, she's had
Marcus.
way too much soda. And then when he meets Trish or Tish or whatever the hell her name is, and she's like, I want to make a craft store with my pipeline money.
Yeah,
He has this soap bottle angel, and he's like, "Oh, thank you." And she's like, "You can come by anytime. I'll make you a Christmas tree or a Kwanzaa tree. You look like you celebrate Kwanzaa. I'll make you a Kwanzaa tree." And he's like, "That's not real. Stop."
so many. Yeah, like that. There's just so much ridiculous, awesome like one-liners. Town
Oh
is
my
nuts.
gosh.
Town is nuts.
Literally. Oh my
All right,
gosh.
Waterboy, you're up, buddy.
All right. So inside the cabin, we got Finn and Cecily. They question Emerson about the beast and if he can kill it for him. Finn gives a good speech to try and get him to say yes to hunting the beast down. He says, "Be more like Mr. Rogers, a good neighbor." Back at the hotel, all residents are questioning each other on what's going on and why. They think it's Emerson who had sabotaged all the generators and the town. Finn notices Chachi's collar on the mantle, and they immediately try to leave, struggling to open the door, and Emerson opens the door for them. Heading back to the hotel, they open up with saying Emerson killed Chachi, with Pete saying, "Yay, they finally have closure," and celebrates with a bottle of wine and touching Gwen's ass. Panning over to Janine,
Don't touch my wife's ass.
panning over to Janine, sobbing over the picture of her lost husband. We see a hand come up and scare the shit out of her. It's Dr. Ellis, and she's compared the hair samples, and they are a match from both her husband and Chachi. It's a canine, but she's still unsure. Night comes, and everybody is wondering sleeping arrangements. Safety in numbers. Ben asks who's packing. I am. Yes, sir, America. And everybody raises their guns. Even Trisha. Oh, God, I would not trust her with the gun. This Emerson guy wants to come down this mountain and eat our asses and fuck our skulls. Not happening tonight because Pam, I'm up in this shit.
I fucking love him so much. I love Marcus through this whole movie.
Dude, he's ridiculous. So funny.
And I'm sleeping with my wife unless someone prefers my gun stays in somebody else's room.
Yeah.
Cecily, do you have protection?
Just
The only thing that would have made that scene so much better is if he was like, guns a metaphor for my duck.
So we get locking scenes initiating for the whole hotel. Growling ensues as we pan over to Pete with the wolf dragging him out of the bed, and we see his hand missing, all its digits. And he was shot by Gwen, probably personal from that ass touching earlier.
right.
Dr. Ellis only appearing again for the sample. The test shows inconclusive to a DNA match in the system. Dr. Ellis shoots through the door, saying that one of them could be it, with coming to realization that they are dealing with a lycanthrope or a werewolf. Sam going in the other door, gunshots go off, and he comes out of the room with Dr. Ellis having killed herself, so we think, with being more afraid of what was coming. Double checking everything again, being locked up. Everyone, shut your damn whore mouths and listen to this. Joe Quam explaining his notes, pointing towards the werewolf. When I was a kid,
You
my
call him
dad.
Joe Quam?
I was just saying, who the hell is Joe Quam?
I don't know, dude. That's it. That's how I pronounced it when I wrote it down. Joe Quam. Is that Joe? Joe Quam? I don't know.
Joe Quam?
I gotta let you run with it.
Yeah.
Oh my god. My notes, I called him Joaquin. What's his name?
Joaquin.
All right. Oh my god, Joe Quam.
I wrote it out Joe. I wrote it out Joe and then Quam after that. So that's where I went. Close enough. At least
You can edit this part out if you want, but do you remember when Jaquan worked with us? And I remember Mike Cowan was like, "Oh, have you met the new guy?" I'm like, "Who?" He's like, "Joaquin." He's like, "Joaquin works here." I'm like, he's like, "You don't know Joaquin?" I'm like, "Do you mean Jaquan?" Oh my god, you just pulled the mic.
Dude, I did. I did a reverse mic.
Oh my god.
Jesus Christ.
Sorry.
Well, when I was a kid, my daddy used to kick my ass. And they're like, okay.
Like, okay.
Dude, they all pause and show like no sympathy. It was like she was getting ready to come out with some personal traumatizing experience and bleed her soul, and everyone was just like, nah, we good.
No, right. Yeah, we set that right down.
Also talked about a Wendigo who hungers for human flesh. Things get heated trying to figure out who's who, and they all start pointing guns at each other. Are we in a Mexican standoff? Don't say Mexican. Ben mentions we got a suicide on our hands. You have little hands, bitch. He's got no hands. My husband's dead. And Chachi. They decide to lock up all the guns. Pete maniacally laughing in the background about him not being a creep. He says, "I'm not a creep. I'm a werewolf," and starts saying maybe they're all werewolves, and maybe I ate my own hand.
Can we talk about the fact that he pretends to eat his hand? He actually touches it and goes, "Ow, ow!" Yeah. And they're like, "Shut the fuck up! You didn't eat your own hand."
Sam puts the blame on Janine since her husband was in favor of the pipeline. Her husband said he left her because she let herself go. Oh my God. Another heartfelt Finn speech about being a community and hard work and to be a good neighbor. Marcus and Gwen then decide to leave, along with Sam, along with Joe,
and along with
Joaquin,
Justin,
along with Joaquin, and Justin Weathers, and Devin, and then Pete, and Trisha.
Justin will come back soon.
Sam turns into Van Helsing with a crossbow in his trunk. Finn is woken and heads up to investigate, where he gets scared from Cecily. And then Janine with Cecily says there's something in Parker's room. Cecily picks up paper off the floor, questioning Finn. Before we pan over to Justin.
What is up?
We panned over to Justin.
It's my turn. Oh, what? Why did Sean not say anything? Wait, did you just finish? I'm sorry, guys. I really had to pee.
Well, I did just finish.
Oh, okay.
Not in that way, though. I think he's still got a little more to read.
No, okay. That's right. That's right there.
This and is then awkward.
And then Justin.
This is a great transition.
This is the worst. Oh my God. All right, is it my turn? Are we in the woods with the couple?
We are in Yep.
Maybe.
Hold on. Are you guys messing with me? Is it really my turn?
Cecily picks a paper off the floor, questioning Finn before we pan over to Justin.
Tell us your thoughts about that set of scenes.
Yeah, no, you did a great job talking about that. I definitely didn't just have to run to the bathroom real fast, so I lost track for a second. Sean, how do you think the last couple scenes went?
All right, fine. I'll take it over. I've got written down. I go, they're all losing their minds, grabbing asses and making sandwiches.
Yeah.
Oh, and they're all packing guns. Pete's a gentleman and a scholar and offers to spend the night with Cecily because, she doesn't have a gun, aka a man. The fact that they all blame Flint and Pete gets his touchy-feely hand just bitten off fits so well with how this group's been reacting this entire time. The slow descent into madness, their theories running wild into like a Mexican standoff, but you can't say Mexican, just say a standoff. And the fact that Finn has to throw a cup of coffee against the wall because, they decided to lock up their guns and throw away the key while being hunted by a werewolf is just plain silly. I go, and then the group splits up again with no guns. However, guys, Finn's going to protect himself with his trusty bear spray.
That's right, man. That stuff works wonders.
I love it, dude. I love it. There's so many punchlines and stuff delivered throughout these like heated arguments, especially by Marcus, that just you get this dready feeling, and then you get this like, you guys are all a bunch of fucking morons. What are you doing? And then Marcus chimes in, and he's like, just whatever he says is comedy gold.
It's
I'll
so
leave it
good.
at
He's
that. I
such
don't
an
want to name
idiot,
the,
but so funny. Like,
I don't want to name
so
the
funny.
one-liners because you need to watch it, but
Yeah.
You got to give it to the screenwriters and stuff like that for this.
yeah.
All right, which leads us to, we got Devin and Joaquin. They're panicking, running in the woods. Everyone is kind of doing their own thing, running now. And we see Finn and Cecily back in Parker's room, and they found a knife that has a diesel smell on it, and they both look the generators, and they find a map like marking all the different attacks. And then we go right back to the woods, and all of a sudden we see Devin bump into Trish, and he's like, wait, Trish? Like, what is going on? And he falls down. She grabs out a maple tap from the thing, and she grabs a maple tap and kills him, puts it right through his neck. And she's like, I want my craft store. Like, and then all of a sudden we see Parker hunting. The whole town is, like Sean said, the descendant of madness. Everyone they've lost their mind now. So we got Trish killing people with maple taps. We got Parker hunting. This dude's got a crossbow. This dude's got night vision goggles. He's in there hunting like the werewolf. And Cecily and Finn now are hiding underneath the porch, and they bump into Joaquin or Jacam or whatever Waterboy called him.
Joe Quam.
Yeah, Joe Quam's hiding under there with him. And the three of them, and I'm like, what's going on? And he's like, I lost my husband. Trish has gone crazy. I think Trish did it. And they're like, where is this? They're like, oh, close to Trish's house. So they're like, let's move. So the three of them run over there, and they burst through the door. And you get Marcus. He's got Freddy Krueger hands now. He's got just knives taped to his hands. And they're like, what the hell are you doing? And he's like slashing at him. He's like, I got knives taped to my hands. And he's like, what are you doing, Marcus? He's like, I'm going to
steal everybody's shit and make it look like a werewolf did it.
I'm blaming on the werewolf. And he's like, I'm the werewolf, bitch. And
He's got like a bag of pills too.
Yeah, this dude has lost his mind. He's slashing at him. He slashes Finn's shirt. And then he runs out, and he's like, I'm the werewolf, bitch. And he runs outside, and he starts to howl. As he howls, a truck, Gwen comes flying in and runs him over by accident and is like, get in. And before you can even process all this, all of a sudden her head gets blown off by this Trish. Trish shoots her head off and yells, homewrecker. And then it pans over to the three of them.
Oh my God.
Finn, Cecily, and Joaquin. And like just the deadpan look of just like, what the hell has happened? I think Cecily even says this town's like completely lost it. Like, just so much to process right there. So then as they leave, like Trisha corners them, and then all of a sudden she sees Peter's dead, and she starts losing her mind, and she's like, oh my God, you killed Peter. And Joaquin, quick thinking, grabs the fire poker, smashes her in the head. She falls, her head goes into the fireplace, so she's burned, she's on fire. We got complete chaos. There's so many kills all of a sudden going on. Then the three of them run, they outside. And actually Finn steps on Marcus. He's like, oh, sorry, Marcus, as he's dead. And then they see Parker over there, and Parker's like ready to kill them. And they're like, oh my God, we got to get going. And I'm pretty sure Finn once again says something about like, oh, I wish we had like snowshoes. This dude talks about snowshoes. Like,
yeah, because you hear Cecily in the background go, man, he really loves snowshoes.
Yeah, and that's the best. Like, this guy is
well, it's the oldest and most effective way to travel in snow and or on top of ice.
right? Like just another like stupid and funny like one liner. And then all of a sudden, Joaquin loses it. He grabs Cecily, and he's like, puts the gun to her. He's like, "She's the werewolf. She's the werewolf. She's the seventh born, and the the seventh born. We have to kill her. We have to kill her." And Finn's trying to talk him down, like, "All right, calm down, calm down. Like, this is not how it works. She's not really the werewolf." And then out of nowhere, all of a sudden, you get an arrow, boom, right through Joaquin's stomach. You see Parker shooting the crossbow. So we got Joaquin going down. Parker grabs Cecily, and says he found the knife in Finn's room, and he's telling him how Finn's the werewolf, like you just got here and all this stuff happened, all of a sudden you take charge. And Finn's like, "I found the knife in your room, like what the heck are you talking about?" And Cecily hits Parker, and then Finn jumps on top of Parker. Parker has a little knife up his sleeve, stabs Finn, but luckily Finn's got his crazy bear spray, so he sprays him in the face with that. And then all of a sudden, Joaquin yells, "Hey!" And he shoots. What is that? Like the pipeline? He shoots the
The dung,
pipeline.
the dung pipe.
The thing
Yeah.
that looks like the wang.
The big duck.
Yeah, and he shoots that. So we got a giant explosion, and luckily none of them are hurt except for the people you want to get hurt. It was a very great explosion.
It's crazy. Like they are so lucky that his jacket wasn't even singed.
Yeah, it literally only hurt like Parker, so
it's
that was
flame
fine.
retardant.
I read a lot of people were pissed off about that little scene, and they were saying like how it should have killed everyone.
Yeah,
it's 2 propane tanks that have been constantly burning. It's not directed to a pipeline. It's not connected to anything. It's just 2 propane tanks.
Yeah.
I'd imagine where this is the dead of night, they're probably almost empty. So that explosion you see in the distance, because it's a mountain town, no lights, no nothing around, it looks a lot bigger than it actually was. So I kind of find it believable that if you're far enough away, you didn't get anything but shrapnel around you. You see what I'm saying?
I kind of see what you're saying, but wasn't he like right next to Parker? Like, weren't they like right next to each other? So shouldn't they all get? And honestly, I mean, I didn't care that much anyway because this movie's just so ridiculous. Like, I wasn't like trying to like take it too serious, but I do know what you're saying. Did he freeze?
Yeah,
Am I back?
He's alive. All right. Anyway, yeah, you're back. I didn't know if he's frozen or not.
Yeah. All right.
But anyway, yeah. So Cecily, so Finn got stabbed in the stomach by him. So Cecily brings him back to the police, and she's gonna take care of him. And she's talking to him on the couch, and she's like, "All right, well, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go get some stuff and check to see if the phones work." While Finn's waiting, he decides to walk around, and he looks in the back room, and starts to get a little weird. All of a sudden, we see a parcel that she never delivered. That was the one that Gwen was waiting for, right? The fuel injector. And he sees that, and he's like, "Oh, it's kind of weird." And all of a sudden, we see a postal badge that's not Cecily's. It says David something, and it's the guy who was killed earlier in the movies. And there is a ton of parcels that just have not been delivered. And he's like, "Oh my god!" And he walks out, and all of a sudden, he sees her, and he just looks at her. He's like, "It's you, isn't it? It's you." And then he asks my favorite line of the whole entire movie. Like, I loved it so much. He just realizes, like, "Oh my god, like, could it be her?" He's like, "Were you even in a punk band?" Like, out of all the things to say, like, "Were you even in a punk band?" And she's like, "Yeah, but we didn't break up." And he's like, "Yeah,
you ate him."
Yeah, he's like, "You ate him." And she's like, "Yeah, I ate him." And just so incredible. She's like, "I know, werewolves are real." Like, it's just such even an awkward, funny scene of her explaining, like, "Holy crap, like, she's the werewolf." And as she actually starts to howl, and then she explains how she did everything, how she killed the postal worker, how she ate Trish's dog, how she ate Pete's hand, because how Sean talked about earlier, how he touched her and she did not like that. And she said this was the perfect town because with like the pipeline drama, all she had to do is plant some different evidence, how she planted the dog leash in that crazy guy's house. She said she had to spread a few rumors, and the town kind of just took care of themselves. And then the snowstorm and the roadblock was just a chef's kiss, because you couldn't even plan that exactly. That was just icing on top. And she says she's got food on ice now till spring, and she's like, I'm still gonna eat them later. And she's like, "You kind of like screwed up my whole entire plan because you're too effing nice." Like, what is wrong with you? You're too nice. And then and he does this incredible speech, which I just love so much. How he says, it's fucking okay to be nice. And then he even catches himself. He's like, it's effing okay to be nice. He's like, how's that for your kumbaya bullshit? Just what'd you guys think about that before I just keep going?
Oh my gosh,
Loved
that
it. This is where I realized that, Finn is 100% Justin in this
Right?
movie.
Just try to be nice at work all day long, and just people I just get shit all over and just made fun of when everyone else is
Yeah,
being
because you've
negative.
had this exact conversation multiple
Like,
times when you'll mess up or you'll do something like a little goofy and people jump all over you. And you're like, sorry for trying to spread positivity.
right?
Sorry for trying to make your day better. I hope you have the best day ever. But hey, it's okay. I won't get mad at you for continuing to make fun of me because I tripped over my feet in the pit. All right. Instead of asking him if I'm okay, you're just gonna laugh at me while I bleed from my nose. But you know what? Guess what? I'm a good guy. So how's your day going?
Dude, like 100%.
100%.
100% is what I'm going to say. But I'm like, this literally is like how I talk. And I've never even seen this movie. Like, I was just being myself, and this guy he really is me. Absolutely loved it. And then
Finn is Justin's brother from another mother.
Finn. I love Finn so much. I love this character.
He does play it perfectly.
This guy made the movie. I absolutely love him. And then we go right back. All of a sudden, we get a badass transformation. You're seeing her just awesome transformation, and she looks up, and you see her as a wolf, and it is stopped instantly with a shovel to the head. Emerson Flint right back there hits her in the head, but then all of a sudden he gets bitten and he gets absolutely chucked. And we see Finn hiding, and this just gets incredible. He throws something, it smashes the jukebox. Ace of Base goes back on. I saw the sun. All like the disco lights that's going on. And you see him step out into like full badass mode with the axes from the axolotl thing, and he is just launching the axes at her. And he misses like all of them. And he's like, oh,
no,
shit.
He gets one and gets thoroughly excited. Like it hits the wall and he goes,
oh, yeah.
Hey.
And it's
hey.
the dartboard.
Yeah, oh, yeah, you're right. He nails the dartboard. Hey. And then all of a sudden, like, he realized after he misses the next one and she turns around, he's like, oh, shit. And she jumps in. She is on top of him. She is growling at him. She is about to bite him. And he grabs something. I'm not, dude, was this what he grabs? Was that a snowshoe? What was that he grabbed?
That was a snowshoe.
That was a broken snowshoe.
Yeah, he grabs the broken snowshoe that's got like a point, like you see in like Buffy or something, and he jabs it into her neck. And she dies, and she falls off him. And the best thing, even this guy is so freaking funny. As he just kills her, he literally yells. He goes, "Ah!" Then he just yells, "What? What?" Like out of all the things, like I don't know. I just like I burst out laughing. Like just there's a lot to process right there. And then all of a sudden we see Emerson is alive, Flint's alive, and they turn around and he's like they're having a quick little moment talking about how the Mr. Rogers speech was really, really good and it made him come back. And in the background, we see her moving up. She's slowly getting up. And then they're like, you think Janine's alive? Like, you know what? She could like make us a sandwich. And all of a sudden, Cecily the werewolf jumps out from the back, flying at them. Then all of a sudden, she is blasted, flying backwards. We see Janine at the door with the shotgun, and she's like, make your own damn sandwich. The end. Let's go.
Oh my gosh.
Mic drop and a half from Janine.
Mic drop.
She has been the most vulnerable character throughout this entire movie, but she comes in clutch with the last 17 seconds.
Right.
Turns right into a badass.
I know. I forgot about her. I'm like, because she was off screen for so long, and then all of a sudden they mention her, and she's right there. Mic drop.
Waterboy, what are your closing thoughts on the set of scenes?
The final fight when he's
there was so many lights.
There was dude, the disco lights. It was incredible.
They're like, we need a werewolf fighting scene to Ace of Base. Like, who even picks that song? Like, it's so awesome.
That scene was so like Finn makes this movie. Honestly, that actor. Yes. He if without him, I mean, honestly, the comedy in this movie was great. But I think without him, I mean, he made the movie. He really did. And
hands down,
him and
Cecily. Without those two, I don't think this movie has any traction at all.
Their awkward chemistry.
100%.
Their awkward chemistry was just so great. Like the little stupid one-liners, like what like said so deadpan and stuff. It was so I love them too.
Love it. Yeah, it was amazing, especially the final fight scene. I was I was hoping for something like that, and I got what I wanted. I did.
Nice, nice. All right, I'm gonna give my final thoughts on the scenes and then my rating. Is that okay with you guys?
Yeah, do that, and then we'll do some ratings.
All right. I got Trish sticking Devin with the syrup thing was awesome, and her punchline,
Right.
where the sweet stuff comes out. I want my craft
I
store.
want my craft
Maybe
store.
my favorite line in this entire movie. The
I
fact that
want
Marcus
my-
has the fact that Marcus has Freddy Krueger hands. I absolutely love it. Maybe I'm the werewolf.
Maybe
Maybe
I'm the werewolf.
maybe you're the werewolf. Maybe you became the werewolf. Was there a werewolf? Was there a part-time motherfucker werewolf? Weren't you a werewolf? I'm a full-time werewolf, bitch. You bitches can't even catch a cold. And then he runs out of the house and immediately gets run over by
gets
Gwen.
run over.
And then when Gwen yells at him to stop being stupid and get in the truck, she gets her fucking brains blown up by Trish.
Oh.
I go, oh my God, I love this movie. And then they call Trish Michael Myers because she drops the word. Oh, she teleports again, guys. She's at the front door. They run to the back and she's at the back door. And you hear, who's it, Joaquin go,
Joaquin.
is she Michael Myers? And they shut the, just so good. And then she drops the phrase Shinola. And this just struck a nerve with me and brought up some memories. Because I don't know if you guys remember the movie It, like the original one. If you listen or read the book or anything like that, in the opening scenes with like Georgie and all them, they drop the phrase shit and shinola. Like like it's just common folk. Like I've never heard it anywhere else. I've only heard that phrase in that book. Wow. Shit and shinola. And I go, after that whole showdown and the explosion in town and Cecily coming clean after Finn finds out she's the werewolf, I love her explanation literally on everything. And she's going to eat them later. And the chef's kiss part, when the execution and Finn channeling his inner Justin, it's fucking okay to be nice. Excuse me. It's effing okay to be nice. The transformation was on point as well when she turns into the werewolf. The final showdown was way too on point. I thought Flint showing up at the end, I thought he was just going to burst in and handle business, but taking him out ASAP and leaving Finn to duke it out was a very nice touch. It was well executed. And then them joking about Janine making them a sandwich, but she shows up to save the day and tells them to make their own damn sandwich was perfect. Like so I said, when you finish this, Justin, mic drop and a half.
So good.
I give this movie an 8 out of 10, a solid 8 out of 10. The soundtrack choice was on point for the whole movie. It was so well. The choice of characters was so fitting for the storyline. We live in Mass. I've got a ton of family up north, and the further you go, you start finding these small towns filled with people like this. They're the fake, nice, neighborly, people who would stab you in the back just because they're bored and want to fill their town with some gossip. The witty one-liners scattered throughout the movie, like we keep saying, is perfect. The werewolf was a great touch. It explains so much at how she can transform, kill, and immediately come back, and no one notices a thing. And it shows that she can stay undetected because she doesn't have to rip through her clothes. She's not this massive hulking werewolf that, fully transforms. She's more of like a teen wolf where she's stealthy, she's slender. Yeah, that makes sense, right?
No, it does. It does.
Yeah, and after watching this a few times, this has now become one of my must-watch werewolf movies. It's not pure gore and carnage, but it's witty, it's fun, it's got a great body count and a very like murder mystery feel.
Yeah.
Love this movie. I highly recommend it to anyone looking for a werewolf movie that's not just pure gore and gothic.
100%.
100%.
Very well, very well. Waterboy, what do you rate it?
So I'm gonna rate this a 7.5. And I will
because it's got great lights and sounds.
It has a lot of that, dude. The disco lights stuff. Chef's kiss, honestly. Overall, it was a really good movie. Definitely worth watch for anybody who's into the werewolf genre. Although there is a lot of fluff, like it is a mystery movie, so you're not going to see too much like crazy carnage, but it is a hilarious fucking ride all the way up to the end, and including the final fight scene. Definitely worth the watch. I mean, I wasn't sure how I was going to rate this. I even changed my rating like 3 separate times. Um, totally like the last 10 minutes of the movie. I wish there was like more werewolf, like
I was gonna
instead of
say
just
that.
like within the last 10 minutes of the movie.
Right.
But overall, great transformation. The makeup. I mean, it looked pretty much like Teen Wolf, and I that's why I give it a 7.5. Definitely worth the watch.
Nice.
All right. So
Justin, Justin,
yeah. All right. So
7.7.
we're not starting. Hold on. Hold on. Let me just
First
zoom in for
try?
a second. Hold on. Let me see. First try. You're not gonna be able to see it. I can't even. I'm not. Hold on.
Shut off the light real quick.
Oh, do you see it right there?
7.7. Yes.
7 point-
Let's go.
Bro, we are not. Oh my god, people.
Did we just become best friends?
Guys, he did this a couple movies ago in season 1, if you're not, and I don't even know what
That's like a sign of being soulmates, dude.
No, this is like I think
Big spoon,
all
little
right.
spoon.
Yes, I had a good explanation. All right. So anyway, so I give it a 7.7. I don't know how the hell Sean just did that. And I like this movie because it felt like a Scooby-Doo, like whodunit werewolf mystery thing. And all of it, I mean, I would have liked more werewolf, but it was just fun. I took it as it is. This is like a goofy, like, yeah, it's not like a scary, crazy werewolf movie, which I still think this could have been a little more werewolf, but it's just so much fun with the town people are ridiculous. The characters are hilarious. I love like the whodunit feel and everything, trying to guess like who the werewolf is. And like I said, the last 10 minutes was just so awesome. So 7.7. And also I'm gonna jump right into a Halloween reference, which I'm kind of pissed because it was a wicked easy one. I forgot about
Very
that.
easy. Oh my
Sean
gosh.
even said it, so I didn't even need my other one. Wow, I'm sweating.
That was yours?
Yeah, well, I forgot. Like he literally name drops. They say, "What are you, Michael Myers?" to Trish. I thought of that after I got mine. I'm like, oh my god, it's the most easiest. I didn't even need to do any more research. But you know what? I'm really freaking good at what I do, and we're gonna take this into season 2 doing this. So, Janine's husband, Dave Sherman, who was murdered, that we see like escaping the town. We barely even see him. He's the guy that they found the dead body. That
I feel like he works. He's a cop in one of the movies.
Well, he's not a cop, but he actually did stunts in Halloween. He's a stuntman and also actor, and he did stunts in Halloween Kills. So we have a direct reference there. But on top of that, they said Michael Myers in the movie. So I guess that's all I got. And I'm still freaking out. Sean guessed 7.7. That is, I don't even know how.
That's a great way to kick off season 2.
How?
Damn good show.
Oh, all right. Anyone else got anything else? Oh, anyone got any fun facts before we tell them what to do next? What we were watching next?
I've got a couple. You guys get anything?
So I actually didn't. I got one, but I'm guessing a lot of people know this, and I just somehow didn't because I knew nothing about this movie. This was based off a video game?
Yeah.
Like
that's what I saw in it.
I did not know that, so I just wrote that down because I thought that was crazy, and that's all I got.
I don't know if they're really like fun facts because there really wasn't a lot on this movie when I was trying to like dig through stuff. But I have at one point, Harvey claims that in Argentina, the 7th son is killed because that child is a werewolf. Cecily admits earlier that she is the youngest of 7 children.
So I heard that's that. She says that, yeah.
That's a little hint throughout the movie. Principal photography began in February of 2020, a month before the pandemic hit, giving this film a very limited release before going to DVD and streaming, netting only $992,000.
Oh wow!
I think it was only out for like 3 days or something.
Yeah.
After the opening attack, a little title card displays 29.5 days later. An attack occurs that night, exactly 30 days after the previous attack. Werewolves attack on a full moon, which is on a 28-day cycle. The title card should have read 27.5 days later. The single flaw in an otherwise perfectly plausible film. And that's all I got.
I didn't even know. There we go.
All right, so next week.
All right, next week
we're gonna completely ignore Waterboy. Did you say you got something?
No. Who?
No.
Who's movie next
week? So
Sean.
So near the end.
Do it.
So at the end of the film, Parker uses a hidden blade mounted on his wrist, and if you guys do play games, this weapon appears in several of the Assassin's Creed games, which was from the film source from Ubisoft, who was part of the game who made this. So there you go.
Cool. There we go.
Ubisoft is huge, dude.
All right, so next week it's my movie. I'm not going to tell you guys the movie because you got to follow us on TikTok. I'm going to drop a video at some point either today or tomorrow letting you guys know what we're watching next week. And if you want to like, share, comment, tell us about, the movie, what you thought about it, anything like that, maybe you'll make it on the podcast. Let's read some comments, boys.
Let's get
Let's
it.
go. Follow us everywhere. Until next week.
Everywhere.
All right. I'm Hacky. That's Stabby.
Just Justin.
Nope. Maybe one day he'll be Slashy.
Just Justin.
And remember, it's okay to be nice.
To be nice.